Hi, everyone, and welcome to the WP Minute. I'm your host, Eric Karkovack. Today's episode features a segment of my interview with Brad Williams. Brad is the partner and co-founder of Web Dev Studios. Now, to hear the entire interview, check out our WP Minute Plus podcast. Visit us over at thewpminute.com for details and to become a member. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.
This is a great way to test it, right? Especially as a developer, is have it build a plugin with a settings page. And that was how I generally will test AI code to see what it does. Because if you've done any development in WordPress and plugins and setting pages, there's about 50 different ways you could do this, right? There is like one recommended way, which is use the settings API. And a lot of the responses and things that would come back from ChatGPT, from Gemini, other things would be the old way. It would be either using the, add settings, update setting or update options. I think it is functions like the direct functions to work with settings, blah, 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 rather than the settings API, which does all the escaping, all the sanitizing, does all that for you, right? Where this other method does not. So if you're not including that extra stuff, now you're, potentially compromised. So test it out, give it something that what it should do. What the right answer is and tell it, like test these things out and see if it comes back wrong, then, maybe this isn't the tool, or maybe it's the prompt or the way that you set it, right? Like making sure that you're really instructive. That's the cool thing about Cursor and some of these other platforms. You can kind of give it like I forget exactly what it's called, but it's like an instruction file. And it's basically setting the stage for this bot so it understands what it is and how it needs to work. And it's like saying you're an expert level WordPress developer. You follow the WordPress coding standards, link to the standards. You follow these PHP standards, link to this. You give it these instructions so it knows who it is and how it needs to act, the standards it needs to follow, and then it really tightens up what it's doing. Right now it knows I'm an expert level WordPress. I'm going to follow all these standards, right? Here's the whole documentation I can go off of, so it gets super sharp once you start feeding it those rules, rather than just saying, code me something in ChatGPT, and it's like, okay, and it spits out something completely wrong. So always trust but verify, but I like to challenge it sometimes when I know what the answer should be. See what it comes back with. It's interesting.
Yeah, I've taken to running anything I generate through plugin check, which is what the official plugin repository uses to check against security and best practices and things like that. And I'm always amazed at how many things come out unescaped. And so that's kind of like the process of kind of going through that and just verifying that, okay, now I can look at this and say, okay, this isn't secure. I've got to fix this. Don't go straight to production, please. Just check it first. Always. Put it on a staging site and then see what it does.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. Trust but verify. Make sure what it's producing. Always, never do it directly in prod. Always dev, always staging, work in local environments. These systems are smart and they can learn, right? Like, so they can learn over time. They can understand your team's processes, your coding, your own coding standards, right? It doesn't just have to follow WordPress. You might have your own tweak on those standards, and you just feed it all that, right? And train it to be your coding assistant, what we call the rubber duck, right? Like you have that rubber duck. Well, now you got AI. You can rubber duck with AI. Say, hey, something's not right here. I'm not quite sure, what's going on. What do you think? And it's pretty wild. It's fun though. It's just a new way of coding, and I think people honestly, you need to get on board or you're going to get passed at this point from development. Again, it's not there to replace you, but if you're not using these tools to help accelerate what you're doing and do some of the more routine, monotonous stuff, all your peers are, right? So it's going to catch up to you at some point.
Yeah, and you're pretty happy with the time you save, I think, too. I mean, it has made my day a lot easier. I know that. So it's something that, like I said, every level should probably be digging into this deeply now.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't talked about the marketing angle of it, right? Like all the emails we get now, like it's even more, and they're getting so specific. Like, hey, I saw you worked on this project at that, blah blah blah. Like it's just scraping your LinkedIn and auto generate, they're getting smarter, right? They're getting smarter in what they say to try to get you to interact and be like, wait, how'd you know that? It's all coming through these AI systems, and they're just getting smarter because they can figure out the data and what you want to read or what you want to see.